I'll just introduce ourselves. My name is Hui Ying. Together with me is Kunming and
Hi
Andrew.
everybody.
Yeah, so Kunming is my co-founder of the Gem Museum. So both of us founded the Gem Museum in 2015. Now we are in the tourist area in Kampong Glam in Singapore, which is like an Arabic area. And the area is very interesting because the area used to be the area whereby the gem dealers are all there. They are from India, from Sri Lanka, from the Middle East as well. And that's also the area where they sell textiles, like the Indian textiles, which are very, very nice and good quality. And so now we are there in the location. Anyway, when we are open, if you are in Singapore, we hope that we will see you again, probably towards the end of the year. And of course with Andrew, and I'll let him introduce himself to you. So who are we? We are actually Vice Gems Group, and in the group we have the gem testing laboratory. This is the UV vis on the left, and we use it to test for synthetic diamonds. Okay, this is I mean, we're still developing more equipment which like using deep UV to test and all that. But then it's just interesting because you can see all the different, this equipment don't just test for synthetic diamonds, it can test for also gemstones, because using the UV vis, the visible spectrum, to test for the absorption. And we have the FTIR here using infrared, and the EDXRF using X-ray. And the institute, which we train jewelers, salespeople, designers, or gemologists. They are coming into the gem industry. So we train them. We have diamond grading program. We have a gemstone program, identification, and also jade program. So one of our very popular course is a jade course with Mr. Tay, my boss, Kunming's father. And Fire Gems and Jewelry is Kunming is in charge of this business. We do customized jewelry with colored gemstones. So in the past, diamonds are very popular. Nowadays, gemstones are getting more and more popular than ever before. So that's what we do. We specialize in gemstones, especially phenomenal gemstones, which is like what Andrew is going to share this evening. Okay, phenomenal gemstones like Alexandrite, even chameleon diamonds, color change, uh, gemstones. We have color change sapphires and all that also. So um, interesting stones that we like. And then Kuming also does the import. He do gem sourcing, and we do a little bit manufacturing, meaning like gem cutting. Okay, we have a partner to cut gemstones for us as well. So finally, the gem museum, and oops, cannot see. Zooming into gems is the our workshop. Okay, we used to have a physical workshop. Now it's all online. So this is by the Gem Museum, and Gem Museum aspire to bring gemological education to all our members of public, and to bring spark off that love for gemstones, and spark off that interest, and also bring like-minded people together. So these are our brands. Okay, and without further ado, I will hand this time over to Andrew.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah.
So welcome everybody again to our, like what Hui said, our 6th edition of our Zooming into Gems by the Gem Museum. And last week, yeah, right, before that. So my name is Andrew Neal, if you do not know who I am. And I'm the curator of the Gem Museum, graduated in GIA London as a graduate gemologist. So yeah, I really miss London when I talk about London. But something about there is that it's always gloomy, always gloomy. Like what my classmate always said is kind of depressing, you see. But gems just lighten up your day, you see. Okay, so let's head into the slides. Okay, so before that, last week we talked about emeralds, right? Emeralds, the rich history of emeralds, how emerald define green as a whole, how emeralds generate a lot of economic movements with this high value and high rarity. So, and on the other hand, this week we're gonna talk about something that is not that rare. Okay, in fact, it's a very common stone, which we call feldspar. So feldspar is, yes, it is a very common stone. In fact, it's a widespread mineral and is among the most abundant and diverse mineral on Earth's crust. So when when we talk about rarity, like the emerald, it's just something that we admire. Okay, we all as consumer and as a trader, we just admire rarity. Okay, when rarity combines with beauty, it makes a priceless piece, right? So common minerals like the feldspar can be beautiful as well. Can we all agree that? So common minerals are beautiful too. Okay, like the feldspar, most of the feldspar family are phenomenal. Okay, and for the more of it later in the slides. So feldspar, yes, is one of the most abundant and diverse mineral on the Earth's crust, um, and multiple use and being common itself, it has multiple uses for it. Okay, in the industry, for example, the ceramics, glass, potteries, tiles, and of course gemstones. So speaking of tiles, when we always use this example, you see, recognizable example in our Orchard MRT in Singapore. Is one of the busiest uh, MRT station in Singapore. It's in the heart of Singapore, in fact. So once you get off the station, you can see the tiles is all black. Okay, it's because it's a species of the feldspar. Um, the name of the tiles is actually called anatorsite, which majority composed mostly of labradorite. Okay, so labradorite, people are familiar with it. So once you get there, you can see the tiles and the pillars, the columns, the stairs, all of them is covered by it, and you can see it reflecting those patches of white shimmers. So that's what labradorite do. Okay, apart from blue, it can be white as well. For those who haven't been seen it in the Ultra MRT, you can go there, have a look, and make sure just you do not block the pathway of the commuters, right? So I remember one time I went there purposely to see the labradorite tiles by myself, and I was just standing there, and all the commuters were just passing by, minding their business, and I was just standing there like someone who doesn't know his direction. So yeah, do it at your free time. You see, the people who is in Singapore. But what is feldspar? Okay, feldspar generally is a silicate mineral, a mineral that has a general chemical composition of aluminum, silicate, and oxygen. So the X in front of the chemical composition is additional chemical elements that consists of almost, I think, around 7 different kinds of elements that can replace the X. So different elements, they produce different kinds of feldspar species. So in to subcategorize feldspar, the main elements that compose in the feldspar subcategories are potassium and potassium or sodium and calcium mixture. Okay, so the subcategory will be like potassium-rich series of feldspar and the mixture of sodium and calcium-rich series. So these two are the subcategories of feldspar. And yes, it is a diverse species. Feldspar is a large mineral group with many members with different properties. Properties like physical, optical, slightly different though. And the crystal structure can be different as well. The two main crystal structure is the monoclinic and the triclinic crystal system. So as for As for the gem species of feldspar, we can identify 4 primary species, which are the Orthoclase, the Labradorite, Oligoclase, and microcline. So these can be phenomenal and non-phenomenal as well. So later on in the slide, we will discuss what it's about. And although there's many varieties of feldspar, right? Many properties and physical and chemical properties, they all share the same hardness, 6 to 6.5 on the Mohs scale, right? And they also have these 2 cleavage directions that may affect the durability. When I say cleavage, I don't mean those women cleavage. We're talking about the mineral cleavages. We as gemologists, me and Kumi always talk about the mineral cleavage, okay? So yeah, cold jokes aside, cleavages, they will affect the durability of minerals, where for the feldspar, the 2 cleavage direction can intersect at an almost 90 degrees angle, like the one you see in this picture right here. It can cleave until it looks like a square, depending on where the cleavage direction is. And for feldspar, you may wonder, they have 2 cleavage directions. Is it suitable for jewelries? Yes, as long as you wear it in somewhere that is not highly exposed to impact or knocks, like ring or bracelet. Pendants and earrings are just fine, you see. So they are still useful in the jewelry trade. So here we are talking about the feldspar gem varieties, right? And in fact, most of the feldspar gem varieties may contain some kinds of phenomena. Okay, they can display some kind of phenomena, like the stones like Moonstone, Labradorite, and Sunstones are all part of the phenomenal gems. They could display adularescence, labradorescence, and aventurescence, which I'm going to explain more later. And whereas the non-phenomenal feldspar is not that common in the trade, because when we always talk about feldspar, we talk about the phenomenal ones. What about the non-phenomenal ones? So it consists only 3 kinds of non-phenomenal feldspar: Amazonite, and the transparent yellow Orthoclase and Labradorite. For these 2, transparent yellow Orthoclase and Labradorite is not very common, something that you don't really heard of in the trade, in the market, or in the museum. So I never seen one before, not even in my studies, I never seen a transparent yellow feldspar. Whereas for Amazonite, they can be quite well known, okay, because of its blue-green features, blue-green body color, and some says Amazonite is a good alternative for turquoise. But what makes Amazonite stand out is its grid-like white streaks all over the body of the Amazonite. So these are the white streaks. So when it's cut into, let's say, a cabochon or a bead, it can really show the white streak all across the body. And once polished really well, it can be as good as any jewelry, you see. I've seen a friend of mine who made an Amazonite bracelet. It's almost as if the bracelet you see elsewhere in the market, like the onyx bracelet, the amethyst bead bracelets, you see. So she made an Amazonite bead bracelet, which is something extraordinary, something unusual for the public, you see. And it's really awesome to see an Amazonite jewelry. So for those who are not familiar with phenomena, let me explain in detail, okay? So phenomena is defined as a gemstone's special optical effects that resulted in how the light interacts with the stone. Okay, it can either caused by the crystal structures scattering the light or diffracting the light, or inclusions that reflects the light, or even the light properties where the stones may absorb or emit the wave of the light. So it could reflect different spectrum of the light. So here we have really nice photography by Lotus Gemology of Thailand. It shows a stone, a rainbow lattice sunstone of the Orthoclase species. So rainbow lattice, they usually have this long tape-like inclusions. Those inclusions may be hematite or magnetite or even both. So it will create this colorful iridescence look to the stone. It will make the stone looks really, I would say, dashing in some way, depending on how big the stone is. So it is really visible for this kind of inclusions, hematite and magnetite. So for the feldspar, as I mentioned, they could have adularescence, labradorescence, and aventurescence. So firstly, the adularescence is actually happens when two different feldspar species stack upon one another in alternating microscopic layers. Okay, so when the crystal grow, these two species will just lay upon one another, and that resulted in the entering light being scattered in many directions. Okay, so it creates this billowy sheen just under the surface of the stone. So there's a saying goes, legend has it actually, legend has it, this adolerescence is actually trapped moonlight. You see, you can imagine that moonlight being under a stone is really, really cool. So what kind of stone have this adolerescence? The moonstone of the Orthoclase feldspar. Its moonstone is one of the most familiar variety of the feldspar group. Um, it can be really beautiful. It can be really shiny. Really, it may have a really good sheen. Yeah, and first fine moonstone was sourced in a town in Switzerland named Mount Adular. Okay, Mount Adular is a town in Switzerland where they find good quality moonstones, and the people there will actually name the stone as Adularia. Let me get this right. Adularia. Okay, a quote Adularia. So hence, when the word spread about these fine moonstones around the world, people just get the hang of it by calling it Adularia. So hence, the phenomena is named after Adularia. Okay, for the moonstone, the sheen is best valued with blue sheen, although it can comes in other colors like white, more commonly white. Okay, blue sheen is the best valued moonstone. Okay, like you see in this picture, it has almost like a blue moonlight under the stone, although you can see those cleavages inside the stone as well, which will lower the value of the stone. So next up would be the labradorescence. Okay, labradorescence is made by diffraction of light when it reflects off the gem's micro twin structure. So labradorescence, as you know, is named after the mineral labradorite. And labradorite is a mineral that twin very often. Okay, so when it twin, it will cause this labradorescence to be a colorful gem. And this phenomena is actually really directional. Okay, what does it mean by directional? That means you have to really put effort into looking where the phenomena is reflecting at. Okay, from the left picture you see face up, you don't see anything. Okay, until you rock until to find to pinpoint the exact location where the light is reflected at, you may see the labradorescence. You can see patches of different colors in different areas. So some stones, they may even have different patches with different directions as well. So it makes it much more difficult to really admire the whole phenomena thing. But nevertheless, it is still very beautiful when it's placed in the right direction. So Labradorite is a mineral that is first discovered in Labrador, Canada around 1770s. So when I first heard of this Labradorite, okay, I always think to myself, is this named after the dog Labrador? So as study moves on, I've read the history of Labradorite. It was in fact found in Labrador, Canada, province in Canada. So not from the dog Labrador. Okay. So Labrador usually they are translucent to opaque with a gray body tone, and the Labradorescence they can be blue, green, or yellow, as a matter of fact. So here, this stone, they shows a majority of the blue sheen labradorescence on the stone. So maybe when you turn the stone, it might show more yellow or green. So for rarer colors like the purple and red are much rarer and much desirable, you see. So the last phenomena of the feldspar is the eventurescence. Okay, eventurescence refers to a bright flash of reflected light from numerous tiny platelet inclusions. Some people also call it the Schiller effect. Okay, and unlike the labradorite, those inclusions have one common directions, which means when you spot it, all the inclusions will just reflect the light at one direction. There's no need to look elsewhere uh, unless there's more inclusions underneath the first batch of inclusions. Then you can look further uh, into the stones. And common platelets inclusions are usually yellow copper, hematite, or goethite, like hematite, like you see previously, the long tape-like inclusions, and yellow copper are really nice specimens of inclusions, which you can see later on. So these eventurescence can occur in sunstone, and sunstones, there's 3 different species of feldspar have sunstone variety. And they are the oligoclase, labradorite, and orthoclase. All of them have their own sunstone variety, which have slightly different in those physical optical properties. And the inclusions as well may be different, that may show different effects of the eventurescence. So Labradorite sunstone, also known as Oregon sunstone, may be the most popular of the 3. So as the name suggests, it is mined in Oregon, US. Okay, it has this, usually Oregon sandstone, they have copper inclusions like you see in this picture. It's copper inclusions, they are highly refractive and very tiny. Okay, almost as if they are equal in size, and they're spread not it's spread across the stone, but not that much, like almost like it overpopulates the stone, and it makes it, you cannot really appreciate the stone itself. So sometimes it will just be uh, one layer of copper inclusions that it gives a really good Schiller effect. And other minerals, other inclusions like the uh, hematite, it will give this rainbow color. Unlike the copper, it just reflects the light towards you. So why? So here comes a question: why buy feldspar? Um, is a common stone. Feldspar is a common stone. Maybe some say a common stone doesn't have any value to it. So that's why I say common stones can be beautiful as well. And feldspar is actually there are many reasons to buy feldspar. In fact, So firstly is it can be fashionable, okay? Despite its low hardness, the two cleavage directions that may affect its durability. Like I said, when you put it in a pendants, it can make a really fine necklace for anyone, you see, for your loved ones, like the Moonstone pendant and the Sunstone pendant. So why pendant? When a pendant is worn around the neck, okay, the neck is where it receives the light the most, okay? Any light, the sunlight, the room light, and light is one of the major source for stones, phenomenal stones to display its phenomena, correct? So being in the neck, being on the neck, it would just shows everyone the phenomenal that the stone have. So it really is an ideal choice for pendants, and it doesn't really expose to any impacts or knocks unless you place it somewhere. Um, so you always have to take care of your jewelries in the end. So Feldspar can also be decorative. Okay, like what I mentioned, it can be a tile that show off its phenomena, and Labradorite. Uh, People find Labradorite in, I mean, anywhere in any size, so it can literally cut into any shape you like, be it rough, tumbled, polished, free-form, freestanding, carved ones. So here's a piece of a freestanding, free-form Labradorite. So imagine this being in your office desk or your house desk by the window, receiving light, showing off its phenomena. It's kind of cool, you know. So people will see it, people will ask what it is, and you just explain to them. It's just being a conversation topic, mineral. So the next one is beauty. Okay, everyone knows this, and same goes to feldspar. Each variety have their own unique beauty. Okay, and as in gemology and the trade says, no two gems are the same. Even though they are the same variety, same species, same group, each individual stone have their own identity, be it the inclusions that is inside the stone, the adulorescence on top of the stone. Each of them are unique by themselves, you see. And lastly is the sentiment value of the feldspar. Okay, this only applies when uh, you make it as a gift for someone, friends, family, loved ones, um, a total stranger, and it's actually a universal gift. It doesn't segregate into like only for male, only for female. You see, anyone can have a mineral, and when you give a mineral to someone, it can actually spark. Maybe you can actually spark interest in the person's. I mean, spark the interest in mineral for that person. Okay, for that loved one. So as for me, my story for this sentiment value of feldspar, it has nothing to do with feldspar. It's actually has to do with my first mineral collection. Okay, it's actually bought by my girlfriend. Okay, while she was traveling in the U.S. Okay, U.S. They have plenty of these mineral stores by the roadside, and yeah, she's smiling at me right now. Okay, so back to here. So a gift, it can worth anything. It can be expensive, it can be not expensive, rare or not rare. So in my case, it's not a expensive item, but what I value most is the effort. She does not have any gemological or mineral knowledge prior to her purchase. So I really appreciate that courage to buy from a random store. Although it's not expensive, but I still love it. This is the stone that I have. Is I guess you would know what this is. Okay, it's an amethyst. So this is what makes it special. You just have to find the beauty of it. So this I think is quite beautiful because although it doesn't have this deep purple, it's a druzy amethyst crystal with a geode backing, and it also have this agate line right in the middle of the crystal and the geode. So it's almost as if I get three in one package in one. So thank you again. Okay, she's shy. Okay, so actually this is the end of my slide, and the conclusion is common or not common is still a beautiful gem to own, and we just all have to appreciate the beauty of nature. Yeah, so I hope you learned something today, and I'll pass it back to Hui Ying and Kuming.
Thanks for the great sharing.
Alright, so as usual, put your questions in, and Andrew, myself, and Kunming will try and answer you the best that we know how. So I see that there are actually 2 questions. Oh, 1 question actually. Yes, so keep your questions coming in. While the questions come in, I'll just let everyone know what's coming up next, okay? Some of you might already know because you joined our webinar yesterday. But in any case, once again, we are midway through our moving out sale. So we have another 2 weeks to go. All right, so if you are in Singapore and you have not come down to our shop, or you have not seen any of our Facebook Live, please feel free to do so, okay? And you can join our Facebook group for the moving out sale to see what are some of the items that we have. We have posted it up. We try and post something every day, okay? Video, photos, and all that. Okay, and if you want to see anything that we have not shown, please do let us know as well. We will try and show you on the Facebook page as well. Okay, so that's our moving out sale. And upcoming events, yesterday we had a webinar by Kuming's father. We talked about diamonds from Kalimantan. So the next webinar by his father is on the 24th of July, 2 weeks time. It will be about opals from Indonesia. So happen that next week, okay, Andrew is also going to talk about opals. So right, so the next week zooming into gems would be on the colorful world of opal, also talking a little bit about phenomena of gemstones, okay, play of color. So Andrew is going to present that next Saturday. So if you want to join us again for the webinar, please register for the 2 different webinars via the link over here, all right, where my cursor is, faigeminstitute.eventbrite.com or thegemmuseum.eventbrite.com. So I noticed that some of you might encounter some issues coming into webinar, like on Zoom. So please take note that sometimes if you cannot enter in, it could be because Zoom made an update. So you need to check whether you have updated your Zoom, okay, the Zoom system. All right, so once you update, you should not have any problems getting in. Okay, so once again, thank you very much. And of course, as the from the institute side, we are running a course on jades, and it says over here SkillsFuture approved. So if you are a Singaporean, you will be able to get funding from the government to take up this course, which means that you don't have to pay a single cent. The government will pay the $230 for you. So I myself will be teaching this course. So if you're interested, do go to this website, bit.ly/JulyJadeSFC. All right, so you can go there and register. Or if you have any inquiry, any questions, do feel free to email us at info@gem.com.sg. So finally, at the Gem Museum or the Gem Museum shop, this is where you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, our website, and YouTube. Kuming will be doing a demo. Once again, we have gemstones to show. We have kind of not the whole range, but the more important varieties of feldspar. Right, Kuming?
Yeah, that's right. So everyone, are you ready to take a look at some stones? Wow, this is exciting. Let me show you all, starting from first thing. Somebody asked just now about the, I think Sarah asked about the picture of Orchard MRT station. So I just did a quick Google, and here it is. If you can see my cursor on the wall, this is Labradorite, and on the floor, this part, Labradorite. So the whole station is just using this tile. It's really beautiful. Have a look. And one thing also to note, it's very durable. You don't see holes forming on the floor.
Yeah, also Sarah mentioned that she's making a tabletop, is it, with Labradorite?
Oh, that's nice. It's
So that's
beautiful.
really beautiful.
Yeah,
Awesome. So if you once you made it right, maybe you can post it up on our Facebook page or something, or the Facebook group or something.
yeah.
Just share with us, share with
That's
us. It'd be quite nice.
yeah. Actually, feldspar is used widely in building materials. I do have a friend who owns a stone shop. They sell stones. So making a tabletop with Labradorite is awesome because when you shine spotlight onto it, you can really make the color come out beautifully. So I want to show you this first stone. See this? So some of you
Yeah,
might
this
have
is
seen.
this is something that we use in construction as well.
So if you go to many shopping centers, the floor tile they tend to use this. This is a kind of granite. It's a igneous rock, and the pink color is actually feldspar, pink feldspar. The gray is quartz, and the black is hornblende. So it's a rock that has so many different minerals in it.
Minerals.
So this is the ones that they use for building. So feldspar here.
The
I want to
pink
show you.
feldspar is also the one that Andrew showed just now. The two large pieces. The two large pieces are the actual mineral crystal. This is like a crystal aggregate with other minerals.
So the
The
next
black
piece,
is the hornblende, right? Hornblende.
yeah, hornblende. All right, I want to show you a giant piece now. Okay, I hope I have enough strength to lift it up. Okay, it's not that heavy. It's this. This is Amazonite. So just now Andrew was talking about having white stripes all over it. Here it is, and you can see the twinning. This is a twin, so it's called lamellar twinning. It's giant piece. I want to show you the quartz crystal growing on it here. See the quartz crystal? Yeah, and here too, all over the stone. So it's a massive rock. To make as a tile possible, it's going to cost. I have seen also gem quality Amazonite used as beads. They are more translucent, but this one is more like a specimen. So this is from our institute. You can look at it. See the twinning again. So this Amazonite. Okay, now we go up the chain a little bit. See something a bit more phenomenal. So this is sunstone. You can see the copper flakes getting the shimmers. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's very beautiful. Look at that. See the shimmer? Let me try to use a light to make it come out some more. See the shimmer? See, it's very directional. If you turn it a different way, it disappears. And you turn it back, yeah, it appears again. So for the cutter, it's a challenge because sometimes certain directions you might have the beautiful sandstone effect, but there might be cracks in between that. So he has to make a judgment call on how to cut it. Let me show you a better quality sandstone, rough, from Oregon. So here it is. Look at that. Look at the sheen. This is gem quality. So at a certain angle, you can't see the sheen at all. But if you shift it, ta-da! Very mysterious, huh? This stone. Look at that. Look at the sheen. So this way you don't see it. This way you see it. So I think
Yeah.
this one, I can make the table here and make a, let's see, maybe a pear-shaped stone, or maybe a heart shape. You can make a heart shape. Then one part of the heart is sun with the flakes, purple flakes, and the other part of the heart has no flakes. So you can think of a special story to give it to your girlfriend, Andrew. So look at that, it's beautiful. So when a piece of feldspar is gem quality, it's very transparent, it looks really amazing. Yeah, so this piece, you can create a number of gemstones from it. Okay, I want to show you a moonstone. So moonstone, just as somebody was talking about blue moonstone. It's a blue moonstone. Let me show you blue moonstone. Where's my tweezer? Okay, show you some other moonstones first that are bigger. This is white moonstone, very clear, white. The sheen, you can see the sheen at the side here. And normally, in order to bring out the moonstone effect, it's best to put the white moonstone on a black surface. So I got you a black surface. Okay, see, the color comes out a little bit more. And let me shine a light on it. So what you can do is when you are, hey, there's actually a cat's eye. Wow, I didn't realize. Can you see a cat's eye? Yeah, so cat's eye moonstones are also
Yeah,
available.
little bit.
Good, nice
There's
cat's
a
eye.
cat's eye there.
Yeah, there's a cat's eye.
Nice.
So I think 2 webinars ago we were talking about cat's eye chrysoberyl.
Like, yeah.
Let me try to show it to you all on my pen. Wow, look at that. So beautiful. See,
Nice.
no eye with the light. So this is a cat's eye moonstone. And if you look at the small little dots, those are the so-called centipede inclusions. Later I will show you under the microscope. Okay. So moonstone is very attractive because of the phenomenal effect. The very nice sheen. And as you notice, if you look at it, this stone has a very high cabochon. And it's a little bit narrow too, so it accentuates the focus of the light even more, therefore forming the cat's eye. Look at that. This is a white moonstone. I want to show you the blue moonstone. Blue moonstone. Where are you, my friend? There you are. Okay, this blue moonstone has a blue sheen. So I put it here. Look at that. See? So, see the blue sheen? Let me take it up. So I shine the light. Wow, look at that. And this piece is rather clear. Most moonstones have a very low clarity. Yeah, and the more inclusions it has, it actually enhances the sheen. But when the stone is very clean and it has a sheen, wow, the beauty becomes very attractive. Look at the blue sheen. It's very nice. Very mesmerizing. It's like, yeah, you're right, having a piece of the moon in it. This is something that is, oh, look at that. And you put it on the black surface, it's even more, look at that. So what you can do when you are setting a blue moonstone, you can actually cover the back with gold or silver and then plate it black color, or just use a marker pen to color the back of the casing black, and it makes the blue come out even more. So if I put it on a white base, you will see that the blue doesn't come out so much. You see? The contrast isn't there, and therefore you see a light blue. But when you put on a black surface, look at that, it just comes out. See? So nice. Makes me feel sleepy already, thinking of the moon. Okay. Now, let me show it to you underneath the microscope. Let me stop share. Show you my face.
There's a question. Is blue moonstone more expensive than white moonstone?
Okay. I sold a 20 carat blue moonstone before for about a couple $1,000. It was from India. Yeah, it was very beautiful. It's totally clear, and you don't need to have a light to shine on it, and it just pops out. I have seen white moonstone. Generally on the market it costs less, because somehow or other it's a more common. But in this kind of gemstones, there is no grading system. There's no valuation system that is given, and therefore a willing buyer and willing seller rule applies. When you have a white moonstone, it's the one I remember is from Myanmar. The white moonstone is like it has an energizer battery in it. When you just look at it, it's like shimmering. Wow, it's just like blasting you with light. And I saw one stone before, about 20 carats. It's like 25,000 US. Yeah, I was like, wow. I mean, personally, I have never paid so much for such a stone before, but they sell in Myanmar. And a lot of times they focus the dome to be very straight, so it focuses the light. So it's just like this person, if you put in a ring and you put like this, it's like, oh, it's so powerful. You can feel the aura. So I guess that's why the legends always talk about gemstones having some kind of power, because the sight of it is just beyond wonder, leaves you in amazement. And there's also another kind of moonstone that is a rainbow moonstone. Rainbow moonstone that I saw so far was from Madagascar. Wow, I was amazed, and also the price is also very amazing. A small stone can cost $1,000, of very in maybe $500 to $800. But when you look at it, you see the rainbow. It's like if it's a gloomy day, like what you say, Andrew, in London. When you look at the stone under just some light now, the whole rainbow comes out, and suddenly it reminds you that everything's okay. That kind of feeling. Rainbow moonstone, I don't think we have any here, but I can show you some blue moonstone I showed you just now. I want to show you some a moonstone under the microscope right now. Okay, let me show you to show this inclusion. Yeah, so my friends, so what are you looking at? Okay, you're looking at a piece of moonstone. Let me zoom out. Okay, so can you see a lot of small little specks? Okay, let me go into the stone, zooming into gems. Okay, let me zoom in a bit more. Can you see like a centipede like inclusions? Wait,
Yeah, autumn, 6 o'clock. That
yeah,
patch.
let me move it up a bit more.
Yeah.
See that?
That's right.
You see this piece?
Yeah.
So this is what they call it centipede-like inclusions. This causes the moonstone adulorescence. Yeah, those of you who collect, there are many here. You can see at the top. Those of you who collect gemstones, I what do you call it? I encourage you. Yeah, I encourage you to get a microscope and explore your stones. All right. Uh, show you some Labradorite. I have some Labradorite here. Let's see Labradorite under the microscope since I'm already at the microscope. I'm going to show you this microscope that not this Labradorite that I bought together with my children in Jakarta. There's a gem trading center in Jakarta. You can just search Google the map under Gem Center, and it's a place where you can find lots of gemstones and you name it. And so I brought my children there and we created this stone. We bought a piece of broken Labradorite and we cut the stone. So just to have a memory. So this is Labradorite under the microscope. See the Labradorescence? This yellowish color. So I'm not sure if you all are familiar. There's also a kind of Labradorite called spectrolite. Spectrolite, it comes from Finland, and it has more colors. So the ones from Madagascar tend to have just blue and yellow, but the ones from this Finland spectrolite, it has purple, blue, red. Wow, very beautiful. So this is Labradorite. Look at the sheen. Labradorescence. It's very beautiful. But again, you can see there are many inclusions, cleavages here. Yeah. So all around the stone. Let's look at the back. Back, nothing much. So when the thing is flat, you don't see much labradorescence. Oh yeah, you do it. And like what Andrew said, it's very directional. So you can see the labradorescence. It's very directional. Look at that. Wow, wow. I want to show you sunstone, alright? Do you want to see some sunstone under the microscope?
Actually, let me just quickly explain something to everyone. Okay, just a quick sharing. Feldspar is a pretty huge group. So this is actually a mineralogical reference book. Okay, and the alkali feldspar, and of course, if there is alkali, usually there's also a possibility of a acidic feldspar, but not so much. Okay, so why alkali and acidic and all that is dependent on whether it's a potassium, sodium, or other elements that is acidic or alkali elements. So that's not the main thing. What I want to show everyone is actually this triangle. Alright, so if you can see, this triangle is actually like a solid solution series. It's a mix. Okay, there is no clear what do you call that, clear boundary. Okay, no clear boundary. Usually in a piece of feldspar or in the mineral itself, there will be a mixture of elements. For example, it could be a mixture of calcium or sodium or potassium. Okay, so that's why sometimes you see that it looks like moonstone, but it looks like labradorite, so what is it? Because it is because there is a mixture of the mineral. So you can see from here, at this point over here is actually labradorite. Okay, but you hardly ever see something that is pure like this, just right at this point, without a potassium. So which means that there will always be some calcium, sodium and potassium in all the mineral. The question is the amount, how much of the calcium in the mineral, how much of the sodium or how much of the potassium is in the mineral. Okay, so if it has a lot of potassium, then it's an orthoclase. You see OR here. If there's a lot of sodium, it's an albite. Okay, if it's a lot of calcium, it's an N-orthite. If it's in between sodium and calcium, it's Labradorite. It's about 60% over here. Andesite is like sunstone like that. Okay, so there is always a mixture in there. So sometimes you see the moonstone looks a little bit like Labradorite. It's very transparent, or rather translucent to the more to the transparent side, but it's a little bit dark. Okay, so that's because of the mixture of the mineral, mixture of the element in that mineral. Okay, so that is why gemstones are so interesting, because there's always this kind of a, gray area, right? And for the trade, it's not easy. So just now someone asked about, you were asking about, I think was Angela, is it? Someone asked about blue sheen and rainbow moonstone. Okay, the blue sheen and the rainbow, right, they are both moonstones. Okay, I would say that they are both moonstones. They are not the same. Different variety. Okay, Andrew's explanation there is different variety. Okay, so my explanation is that they are all feldspar. Okay, they are all in the feldspar group. As I mentioned just now, because of that huge mixture over here, you can see in this triangle, in the trade is very difficult. It's very difficult for a trader who is not mineralogically trained to tell you specifically whether it's an andesite, labradorite, or bitaunite. You don't even hear this in the trade. Okay, so the easiest way is to use terms to describe. For example, moonstone. For example, labradorite. Okay, where it's coming from. All right, so don't have to be too confused about it. If you are a collector, if you are a buyer, you buy from the looks of it. Okay, you can buy from how beautiful it is. This is always the first criteria when we spend the money to buy um, rocks, minerals, and gemstones. How beautiful it is, the rarity of it. Okay, of course, the rarity dependent on the size, also dependent on the clarity, and so on and so
Sodium,
forth, all the
potassium.
other items, things. Okay, so Kunming, you want to show them something?
Oh yes. There's another question by Chi Yun.
Chimun,
Chi Yun
Chi Chi
on the chat. She put it on the chat.
Chi Yun, yeah.
Yeah, she say what name belong to the moonstone. So moonstone, right, is actually go closer to the sodium potassium side.
Yeah, autoclase.
Orthoclase.
Yeah.
So orthoclase. Alright, Chin. But don't ask people for orthoclase moonstone because it's very technical. Just ask moonstone, rainbow, or blue, white. Yeah, I wanted to show you this sunstone under the, look at that. Look at the platelets. Let me put more light in. Oh no, too much. See the platelets, the sunstone. Yeah, so this is the sunstone under the, let me magnify it a bit more. Let's see. Look at that. All right. Let me show you the actual stone, how it looks like in the zoom box. See the sheen, the sunstone sheen. It's phenomenal. Wow. Okay, last but not least, I want to show you a few moonstones of different color. Take out the labradorite, put the labradorite one side. Okay, here goes. Let me put the photo. So these are moonstones of different colors with this orangey. See? So white moonstone with orangey base color. Then you have this totally like gray, with like a bit of a chocolate kind of sheen. See the sheen, right? Very faint. Then you have blue, this blue sheen, blue, blue sheen, and this one it's like yellow. All right, so Moonstone is a very big group of different colors, so you can really spend a lot of time collecting them. Yeah. So thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed the sharing. Was I see Hui Ying typing away.
Oh, sorry, can hear.
Yeah. So that's all I have for you guys. Thanks a lot for
Yeah,
the
Sarah was saying, which book? I cannot remember offhand. It's a mineralogical book. It's in the institute. I don't have the book with me. So if I have a chance and if I remember when I am in the office, I can try and take a picture and show everyone. I will post it on our Facebook or something. Rainbow Lattice Sunstone from Australia. Yes, we had a piece like that, but then it went missing. Cannot find. It's a pity. It was in a box somewhere, and then when we moved and all that, actually we lost a couple of things. We lost even a microscope. I don't know how we lost it. So that was during a moving time. So anyway, thank you everyone for your attendance. Yes, that triangle helps to understand the whole group much better. So you see, when you see the materials in the market, right, you don't get so confused. How come this one looks like it? Then they're all called the same thing. Actually, they are the same but not the same. They are not the same but they're the same. You know, you look at the triangle, you understand why I say that. Yeah, because in nature it's quite a mixed. It's quite a mix because of the elements are all coming together, but they're in the same kind of a structure, or they're formed in the same kind of an environment. Yeah, so hope everyone learned something today.
Actually, the solid solution series is the triangle. It applies to many kinds of stones, like for example garnets. Garnets also is a solid solution series where you have androdite, um, you have this pyrope, and you have this and another, what is it, grossular, right? Three different groups, that they are a bit of each other. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually every triangle. It's not just a flat triangle. Every triangle, every solid solution series, right, is actually a 3D. So here there's one triangle, there's another triangle over here one. So if you
Wow.
really want to go into it, right, it's mineralogy. It can be a little bit complicated, that you need a bit of imagination. So we try our
Amazing.
best to explain the best that we know how with the samples that we have. So the samples are actually very important. Yes. So the second triangle is the tree. Yes, it is the 3D part. So different mineral group, okay, they are a little bit different, and every group, right, or not every group, some groups they are linked to another group. Okay, so this is another story altogether. It's like jadeite and albite, so they are not the same, but they are linked. They are like a very distant cousin. You know, something like this. Yeah. Yeah, Jade. Okay, Jade one, Kumik's father is the best person to explain because he done all the research and everything. So when the last time he did the Jade webinar, okay, it's more on the culture and all that. The next Jade webinar in the next, I don't know when, I
The
don't
next
know for
season,
sure. Yeah, the next season will be more specific on all these, all these things, maybe nomenclature and things like that. It's very, very interesting. It's very complicated and quite deep, but it's very interesting. So anyway, thank you everyone. Too complicated with the museum stuff explaining it to us.
not too
Not
complicated.
too complicated. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I thought, okay. So thank you very much. Thank you thank you everyone for staying through. 1 hour. It feels pretty fast actually.
Yeah, today's talk
And
was today's thing was because I think we were having fun.
Yeah, it felt quite fast. Yeah. So the next one will be next week, zooming into gems once again, Saturday at 8 p.m. Singapore time. So if you're not from Singapore, thank you very much for waking up early to join us in this webinar. Okay. So anything else you want to
Okay.
say, Kuming, Andrew?
Stay safe. Let
Yes.
gemstones continue to inspire you.
Yes, thank you once again. Put in your comments and feedback on our Facebook if you like, okay?
Yeah, I
Because
think later.
I know Guraf always takes screenshot and then he will put on Instagram. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later on, Andrew will send you all a feedback form. Please just fill in some feedback and let us know what are you looking for. I mean, look forward to something interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us some ideas also, and then we can make it interesting series together.
Yes, correct. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend.
Thank
Good
Goodbye.
night.
you.
Bye
Good
bye.
night.
Bye.
Good night. Bye bye.